I'm sorry about that. Oh my God. I thought I added myself to the stage. It is early in the morning, and I can tell it's early in the morning, even though I got up and I took a shower and I got ready to go. I'm messing up with StreamYard. So sorry about that. I was like, what? Why am I not showing myself on the screen? Anyway, how are you guys doing? Listen, don't give me any issue. All right. So, like, I was up last night and I noticed that Neo Tarot did a wonderful reading on Foodie Beauty. And Neo, you're one of my favorite tarot readers on YouTube. Always a good time reacting to your tarot readings on Foodie and Salah. So I watched it. It was very informative, Neo. Very, very good reading. Very good indeed. And for those of you that are on my channel, maybe you're new to my channel and you're not familiar with Neo Tarot, she has a wonderful channel. She does wonderful tarot readings on Foodie and Salah, celebrities, singers, even places. And she also does private readings as well for those who want private readings. And for those of you wanting to check out Neo Tarot, y'all look down below. Look down below in the description. You'll find the link for the original video, which leads back to her channel and all of her wonderful content. I do encourage and recommend everybody check her out and sub up to her channel and give her a like. Comment on her channel. Tell her how much you enjoy her content. So I'm waking up early this morning, and what a good way to start the morning than by reacting to her reading on Foodie. So that's what we're gonna do. So let me just pull up the reading and I'll give my thoughts while Neo is reading to us, and you guys can enjoy. And again, just tell her how much you enjoy her doing these readings on Foodie, because even though she's not part of Girl World, I think it's great that she's not part of Girl World because she can give like a outside perspective, but she's always on point. She's always on the money. And that's what I love about her readings. So let's get to, shall we? Take it away, Neo.
Hey y'all, hey, let's get into this intuitive reading, this intuitive message for Foodie Beauty. Someone said, come on, sis, I'm here. Here I am. Okay, so what's up, Rose?
Hey girl.
Let's get into it. Foodie Beauty's current energy. Thank you. All right. Okay, so Spirit is acknowledging right off the back, sweating like a sinner in church. Okay, there's guilt, remorse, nerves, worry, confession, coming clean, apology, and integrity is needed. Multiple moving pieces here. It's juggling. The solar plexus energy is the fire in the belly to do what you want to do. But
I'm sorry to stop you, Neo. I'm getting a message right now. I'm just getting a picture in my mind, like all of the colored pieces behind her. I just keep getting the feeling like that relates to what's going on in her head. I just keep feeling that, like all those different fractured colored pieces. It looks like stained glass behind her. It just relates to her thoughts and her state of, say, emotional, perhaps even mental being. I'm not here to diagnose Foodie with any kind of mental or emotional illness. That's not where I'm going with this. But I just feel like that is it relates to her thoughts. Like her thought process that are connected together, but yet not connecting together. Like they're all fractured and pointing in different directions, and there's really no sense of direction here. It's just like her mind is just it's a maze of, like one piece going over here, one piece going over here, one piece going over here, one piece going over there, and it's just everything everywhere. And thank you, Spirit. Like, this is another interesting perspective. I keep seeing the image of a rainbow, but a rainbow has different colors that are all connected together and just arching over each other. But this isn't a rainbow. This is just it's nothing is flowing together. Nothing is connected together. It's just fractured uh, emotions, colored emotions. I feel like uh, mm, it's just the uh, the colors and the emotions are not complete. They're just it's just like splinters of this and splinters of that. It relates to her impulsive nature, her impulsive thinking. It's like just because look at the colors, look how they're all connected. It is it's giving me it's giving me impulsiveness. Like she has a thought in her head and she goes with it, but there's no follow through. There's no arch, like going from one direction to another in a straight line. It's just like chaos, absolute chaos. Like all the colors of the glass, it just feels very emotional to me. Like she runs completely on emotion. And it's funny that the picture that the colors are behind her head. Like what's going on in her head? It's like that she's got a very emotional head. Uh, Reason and sensibility don't really rule. She's ruled by her emotions, and her emotions fill up her head. And the picture of the woman with the fan in front of her face, like she like there's a sense of like hiding, escaping, not showing her true self. The hat to me represents her vanity. Like I'm putting on a picture of uh, I'm doing better, like I'm doing better than everybody else, or like it's a sense of disguise. So I'm getting a lot off that card today, a lot. But I think like the colored pieces of what looks like stained glass behind her, it to me it represents different emotions. Like red would be passion, green could be jealousy, perhaps insecurity. Uh, it's what else? Like the yellow, just I don't know what that would represent. But like I can go deep with this card for hours and pull stuff off of it. But it just I feel like the different colors represent her different emotional states that they they go for a minute and then they stop, and then it connects to something else and then it stops, and then something else comes along and it stops. So like I'm just getting a lot off that card, but please keep going, Neo.
But then you're hiding behind your intuition because you know it's not right. Spirit said, and if that ain't truth, grits ain't groceries. Trust it and believe it. Egg on your face. Spirit is also acknowledging that this has to do with some hotter than blue blazes relationship, passion, filled with passion, sensuality, an instant crush. You see this green, how it's exploding? The new download for me is that this has to do with narcissism, egotism. This has to do with people pleasing. This is why the heart chakra is exploding, for lack of better words. And it has to do also with sexual sacral energy, solar plexus energy, and not listening to your higher intuition. A higher intuitive self is constantly trying to have conversation, communication. Spirit is acknowledging a dance, and you're constantly refusing the offer. And this is because of this romance. Again, what feels like a romance, but in all actuality, it's a mirrored contract. This is a bromance, not a romance. This is what I would like to call a twin flame. You touch it, you get burned.
Mm.
There is something that feels very good about the situation, but the overall energy is that it's not good for you. You might find something, oh man, candy is good, sweet, feels tastes good, but too much candy will have your ass in the hospital, right?
Neo, I know that you don't watch stuff on Chantal. You're on the money, and I don't think you realize how on the money you are, because Chantal does have health issues related to her weight. She does have diabetes. She constantly keeps high blood sugar because she loves her sugar. She loves her carbs. So that comment you're making right now, it does relate to her in more than one way. Yes, ma'am, it does.
Have your ass laid down,
Mm.
laid to the side, no teeth. Okay, diabetes. So that is this. That is this. It is like you keep touching it, you're going to continuously get burned.
And I'm looking at the two cards next to each other, Neo. how much they relate to one another. So you have the hotter than blue blazes, and you've got the sacral energy in the back with the higher, like the higher intuitive energy in the front. Then over here, we've got the purple clouds above, and we've got the two peas in a pod. You've got the orange energy in the middle of the leaf. Isn't it interesting how both cards are very similar? Like you got the purple over here, the red energy between these two, and it's, to me, it just, I'm seeing that it just seems like the Chantal should be over here with a higher, like your higher self. The higher self is over here. The higher self is over here, but she's paying much more attention to the sacral energy, like the primal urges, the impulses, and just going with that, and living with that, and it just going with the fire in the belly versus the sense and reason in the head. Like the head gets completely ignored. It's like, let me just go where my passions are. Let me go where the impulses are. Let's just go with that. Like if I get an urge in my belly, then I'm going to follow the urge in the belly versus letting the head step in and go, maybe the urge in the belly is not the best thing. Maybe let's think about that. She doesn't stop and think about what she wants and if it's good for her. She just follows the urges. She follows the sacral brick road, just, just, she follows the urges and the impulses and the emotions versus stopping to think about, why do I feel this way? Why do I want this? Is it good for me? She never stops and thinks. She just gets the urges and goes. And you're right. The thing between her and Salah, it's a bromance. It's always been a bromance. And recently she tried to kind of force her way through the wall and create romance out of a bromance. She tried really hard on a recent trip, and it didn't happen. It did not happen. And this is something that she keeps running into. You did another reading where the forcer card came up. It keeps coming up with her. She's a forcer. She tries to break through a wall, and yet she's never able to break through it. And I had a message from Spirit earlier before doing this reading, and Spirit just keeps trying to tell her, if you're trying to force your way through a wall and the wall won't break, there's a reason why that wall won't break. There's a reason why you can't get through. And the reason is very simple. It's not because you're not hitting it hard enough. It's not because you're not punching it hard enough. It's because you're not meant to get through that wall. Whatever it is you're trying to get at, it's not meant for you. It might be meant for somebody else, but it's not meant for you. And the smartest thing to do is to recognize that and back away. Just stop beating on that wall, because you'll never get through it. Trying to force or pressure someone or something to be yours does not make it happen. You're wasting your breath, you're wasting your energy, you're wasting your time. And yet Chantal is convinced that no matter what she wants in life, whether it's meant for her or not, she's going to get it. And she's tried that more than a few times in her life, I'm sure, to kind of force her way into a situation or into a person's life. And there's always continuous failure because she's not learned the lesson that some things just aren't meant for her. She's trying to force her way onto Salah, and it's just not working. I think that she's under the impression that if she just hangs around long enough, if she's controlling enough, that eventually she'll wear him down to the nub and he will just give in to her, and it's just not going to work. She's burning through all of her energy trying to make this happen, Neo. Her battery is down to literally nothing. And yet she's still not learning because the emotions are in control. They are driving the car. And sense and sensibilities in the back seat saying, we've been driving around in circles for like years. Can you let us drive? And emotions are saying, no, you stay back there. I got this. And then sense and sensibility in the back seat, they're rolling their eyes at her. Like, okay, I guess we'll keep driving for another 10 years until you finally get it.
Sometimes, and what oftentimes what feels good is not always good for you. It's not what's best. Emotional water sign energy, and or not, could just be emotional. But this is interesting here. You see how the purple is up here? She knows higher intuitively that this isn't right, but her choice patterns and her choices prove that she doesn't care. That's her business.
Right?
Okay, she doesn't care. um
And you know what I think where she gets stuck, Neo? She's one of those people that she makes bad choices, but she has a really difficult time admitting when she's wrong, admitting when she's made a bad choice. She won't even admit to herself that she's made a bad choice. But I think her inability to admit to a bad choice or being on a bad path, it relates to her ego and her narcissism, because narcissists, they're never wrong, even when they are wrong, even when they're dead wrong, dead ass, they're wrong. She will never admit to it, especially in public, but she won't even admit to it in private. She won't even look at herself in the mirror and say, I screwed up. I really screwed up. What can I do to fix this? She just cannot bring herself to admit when she's wrong. So the higher self is above her, saying, hey, we're up here. You can tap into us. We can make things better. You could be healthier and happier and smarter, but she won't touch the higher self, because the higher self would mean accountability and self awareness, feeling remorse and regret. And it might mean she might lose public face, and she just can't deal with any of that. So the higher self is just in the conference room waiting for a meeting. She ain't going to go because she would have to walk in and say, I screwed up. And she just won't.
beauty current energy. Spirit is acknowledging she's dealing with a stormy relationship. Feels like a tower moment, chaos, separation. Trouble is striking. There is an energy of uproar. She does feel like there's fertile ground elsewhere, so she's going to be trying to plant seeds to have some form of steady growth and or be fruitful. Spirit is also acknowledging that even though the storm is here, she feels like she can still plant seeds and grow something and be fruitful. In the middle of the deck, Spirit says, yikes. Love is the best medicine, but because you want this piece of me, because you want to be in this situation, go ahead. But there are people that are getting the real scoop on this situation, okay? Spirit says, yikes. Yeah, Spirit says there's an energy of turning back. Someone's walking away. They're unreceptive to the new ideas that you keep trying to engage and persuade someone to participate in, okay?
She just keeps trying to push this thing forward with Salah, like forcer. She's a forcer, Neil. You've seen it in your cards. You pulled the forcer card. She's the hand punching through the glass. That's her. She's convincing herself that if she hangs around Salah long enough, that she will wear him down eventually. If he did, that would not be real love. He would just be exhausted. He'd be an exhausted, tired, irritated, bitter, angry man. He would not be a man in love with her. She wants love, but she's setting everything in motion to not get love. It's thank you, Spirit. She says she wants love, but what it's really about is possession. She wants to possess somebody. She wants to control somebody. She wants to manipulate somebody. She wants to put them in a position where they can't escape and they will never leave her. Because throughout her lifetime, she doesn't want to be fair. She doesn't want fair, equal, balanced love. She's got abandonment issues. She's even said that herself. So I guess, and I'm just taking a guess here, I'm just speculating. I'm guessing because she has insecurity and jealousy and abandonment issues, perhaps her way of thinking is she feels that the only way she can be sure that a person will stay with her is to trap them with her. And that way it gives her reassurance that they can't leave. If she were in a real, balanced, equal love relationship, the other person always has the option to go. That's the way it should be. If you're in love with somebody and they're in love with you, there should always be the option to go if just things are not well. That's the right way to do it. Is if the other person wants to go, you should let them go. You shouldn't force them to stay. You shouldn't blackmail them to stay or threaten them with something to stay. But that's the way she operates. So she's still to this day trying to force something with Salah. And if you want my thoughts on that, I've been feeling this way for a while. I feel that she knows, due to her health, due to her finances, due to the way she structures things, like going for the unhealthy, manipulative, toxic love versus real love, because of the way that she tries to capture people in a net. Thank you, Spirit. Because she tries to trap people in a net due to her health, due to her finances. She doesn't have a net anymore. Like Salah is literally the last one that she can trap. If she loses him, she won't have anybody else. And she doesn't want to be alone. So she's doing what she can to hang on to him, because he is, in my opinion, the last one that she can manipulate and control and trap with her. Then nobody else is going to fall into her trap after him. So she just will not let that man go. Not if she can help it.
Foodie, beauty, current energy. Yelling, mad at the collective, mad at source, mad. Spirit says she's barking up the wrong tree, yelling, angry. Spirit says same shit, different day, and that she's faking these happy smiles. She's actually a creativity muncher, which means that she's watching other people, creating some energy off of them, creating content off of them, still.
Yep, she sure does that. She hates girl world, but she constantly watches everybody in girl world, including me, girl, including me. She even went so far as to take my intro music for my tarot reacts. Yeah, she did. She did. She did that. So I know she watches the reacts that I do to you and everybody else. And she's also taken my other intro music too. But on top of that, she borrows ideas off of everything: TikTok, Twitter, people who react to her. It's so sad. She's been on YouTube for so long and she can't come up with original ideas and great content. But yeah, she's a muncher. She steals other people's ideas, copies their work, duplicates, feeds. She hates the reactors, and yet what would she be without them? Her content on its own is not strong enough. It's not interesting enough. She relies on the reactors to keep her relevant. And you're right. She's got that fake smile. But going back a minute to her being mad at the collective, she's stubborn. She's as stubborn as a pack of mules all day long, all day, every day. this is going to be one of those cases, Neo, that if spirit teaches her something, if she learns something, it's going to be one of those things where you got someone, they're like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Rah, 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 rah. But then if they actually do it, then they look at the collective and go, dang, now I understand. I get it. I was resisting. I was resisting hard. But now that I've gone through the lesson, I get what you were trying to teach me. I understand now. Like she's gonna have a epiphany breakthrough moment of like, I was fighting, but I understand what spirit was trying to teach me. Where you guys are trying to lead me, you're trying to lead me away from things that were not meant for me. I was stubborn and resolute, and I wanted to stand in that misery. But I understand that I'm meant to be over here instead. Like, so this is going to be a case of somebody who resists the collective, they resist spirit, but if they embraced it, they will understand why spirit is coming forward and saying, you're not meant for that. And we know that you don't want to be separated from that, but it ain't meant for you. But you're not going to get that until you are away from that. Once you step away from that mess, then you'll see what a mess it really was and what mess it was creating for you. But it's not going to happen until you get out of the mess first.
Steals ideas, copies work, duplicates, and feeds off of the energy of others. This is an energy vampire. Foodie, beauty, current energy. Spirit says that she needs to tap into some type of religious practice. She needs to tap into her higher intuitive self. She needs to get that halo. She needs some type of spiritual balance, okay?
Yep, because she's got a dirty aura. She does. Her aura, her energy, it's so negative. It's so dark. It's so what's the word I'm looking? It's so polluted. Like her aura is not good. It just isn't. Like your aura is what your energy that you radiate. And if you got a lot of negative things inside of you, you're doing a lot of negative things, you're not feeding your soul, you're not feeding your spirit what it needs to grow, to be good. Like you're going to radiate some bad energy, maybe even no energy at all. Like she's got some it's I'm looking for the word. There's a word that's in my mind, I can't even speak it. Convoluted, is that it? It's corrupted. Like there's a lot of corruption going on. There's a lot of spiritual pollution, and it's toxic. It's a toxic waste dump. She needs to get all of that out. Get it out. She needs to cleanse herself, because like there's so many things just polluting her spirit. She needs to get rid of it.
But Spirit says she's suffocating and needy and makes one wait. And
Yep.
this has to do with some type of relationship, be that a wedding, be that a belief, be that a group. This is where she is, even though this is where she should be. And this is what she does. So if she tells you that she's practicing some form of religion, some form of practice, Spirit said it's not true.
No.
Spirit says she needs to, though. Spirit
Yep.
is also acknowledging that subconsciously she's suffocating, she's needy, and she makes one wait. And that is her practice, not my business. And it affects this marriage. It affects this. Okay, not my business. Anything else you want me to share for Foodie Beauty? Thank you. Again, I already said that she was an energy vampire, and there it comes.
Oh, what a perfect card for Chantal. She is an energy vampire. She is very draining. She doesn't try to produce her own strength and her own strong, capable, stable energy. She's always constantly feeding off of other people's energy. And the thing about her is that, strangely enough, she doesn't really feed off of positive energy. She feeds off of negative energy. Long ago, she decided to be the bad guy on YouTube. She wanted to be the heel. She reveled in negative energy. She wanted to walk through the crowd and hear the boos and the hisses from the crowd. She wanted to be, public enemy number one. She delighted in it. She liked to gross people out. She liked to piss people off. And she's been doing that for 8 years. So it's like she um, acclimated herself to producing the negative energy in other people and then feeding off of it. She really loved it. She still loves it. Like she's the most alive when she's being negative and offensive. But over the course of time, I've noticed that she isn't as strong as she used to be. Like she's gotten weaker, Neo. Like I feel like that that force of energy, the negative energy, like it's not as sustaining as it used to be. And because it's not, like she's become weaker. Like there used to be like a powerful amount of negative energy. People were very interested in her, reacting to her. But over the course of time, those people that react to her, that have made comments, we become desensitized to her. She doesn't affect us the way that she used to. A lot of people have turned away from her because they're like, boring. And because there's less negative energy, she has less to feed on, and she just doesn't know what to do. But she is an energy vampire. Every single person that she lives with or she comes in contact with, they all get the same dead look in the eye. Like she literally drains their soul. And she's got nothing else to feed on after that. But she is very, very low vibration. And she needs to reach for the higher vibration. But that would require acknowledging spirit, respecting spirit, and just connecting herself to that.
Energy vampire, draining, lustful, dark, low vibration. Spirit saying out of control recently, out of control.
Yep.
Foodie beauty, out of control. Flag on the play. Did she fall recently? Who's this mature man? Who's this older gentleman? She sees him as a true gem.
When you pulled those cards, Neil, I have a feeling that this older gentleman, he is one of her clients. Chantal does food fetish content for people, and I've always suspected that she has a client list of men that give her money on the regular. But I feel this person, he is a fan or admirer of hers, and he might be giving her a lot of money. Um, the gem could be him giving her money, being very generous. Again, this could be a well-to-do client that she's got on the hook, because I just can't see Chantal being truly attracted to an older man, like wanting to be in love with that person. I can see her having a older man client or friend giving her money, and I can see her milking that man out of money by acting interested but not really being interested. She has her physical aesthetic of what she's attracted to, and she would definitely not be attracted to an older gentleman. But she would have an older gentleman friend, client, that she would work for money.
And she's going to be controlling him, or he's going to be controlling her. Did she fall recently? Beauty.
Falling. I hope he figures it out.
Metamorphosis is in reverse, so you're not able to change. can't change, unwilling to change. There are times of chaos and darkness that occur, much like the growing pains experienced by the caterpillar who is in the process of becoming a butterfly. There is a tendency to expect the worst when the first signs of difficulty arise. Has difficulty been arising for her in her life recently? When something is taken away or unwanted circumstances come to challenge you to let go of old ideas about how life is supposed to be. You are not the victim. Rather, you are experiencing the temporary discomfort we all must go through before the beauty is revealed. But a lot of spirit is just acknowledging, like, you gotta want change. You gotta want growth. You gotta want that too. You just can't be like, oh, I'll just wait for spirit to do it. No, you gotta participate. You have to be an active, willing participant in your
Yes.
growth as well.
Yes.
Okay. Foodie Beauty in regards to her relationship.
Can I just make a comment about the metamorphosis card, Neo? It was the flamingos turned upside down. And if the card were right side up, it would signify the two flamingos coming together, like touching heads, like lovingly. And yet it's reversed. And I just kept getting the picture of Salah and Chantal, instead of coming together, it's like they're both, like pulling their heads inward, almost like uh, pulling away from each other. I feel a sense of like ducking, like I'm just over here, like this. I'm just waiting, waiting for something to happen, just in my own world. They're not really connecting. It's just a matter of like holding your head inward, like almost like bowing your head, holding it inward. That's the feeling I'm getting from those two.
Free to go.
Yep.
Somebody said, pack your bags, get your ass up out of here. But
I love you, Neo. Pack your bags, get your ass out of here. How about that? Even if Salah did not tell her that, she needs to do it anyway. Because this whole thing she's got going on is so stupid. It is so stupid. It makes no sense. Girl, she is tired. She is sick. She does not feel good. She's miserable. She's angry. All the fingers are pointed in the direction of the door. The physical fingers, the spiritual fingers, the emotional fingers, all the fingers are saying, look at that door. Walk out that door and don't come back to this. It doesn't even make sense. So if Salah is telling her, you need to get gone, she needs to get gone. She needs to go. He needs to go too, but I think he's afraid to leave because of her temper, because she is manipulative and she will tell lies on you and destroy you if you don't do what you want her to do. Yeah, she's like that, Neo. She's one of those toxic bitches that if you want to go, even if you going makes perfect sense, even if she's the hurtful one, she will not acknowledge that. She'll put it off all on you like, how dare you? How dare you leave me even though I'm a toxic bitch? How dare you? Who do you think you are leaving me even though I'm hurting you and I'm suffocating you and sucking all the oxygen out of the room? How dare you make the right decision that makes sense? It's not what I want. Who do you think you are trying to leave? So he's been waiting on her to leave and she doesn't want to because he is all she's got. She gave up everything else for him and that's her fault and she's got to go home and deal with it. But if he told her to go, she needs to go.
But honestly, Spirit is also acknowledging with all the solar plexus energy, she's willing to as well. Like, you know what, let me hop up out of here. And there will be a friend request. Let's just be friends because Pandora's box is going to open if it hasn't opened already. This does feel like new information
Mm.
on the horizon. Like, oh, I bet you didn't know that.
Ooh.
I bet you didn't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Foodie.
she found out something recently, Neo, and she disguised it. She made a video saying like, I'm asking the information for a friend. Yeah, a friend. And allegedly this friend saw some pictures or something on her man's phone. And the man was cheating or talking to somebody, and oh, I'm asking for a friend. How would you guys handle it? Going to her YouTube audience talking about the friend's business when it was actually her business. So she found some stuff out. Don't know exactly what she saw, but it wasn't good. Hey, it just wasn't good. So she knows. She knows. So I don't know if anything else will come out, but even if she finds some more stuff out, she keeps finding stuff out. Again, all the fingers pointing at the door saying, you need to leave. Why are you hanging around? Leave this man alone. She just won't do it. She won't.
Beauty, what is the message from the ancestors to Foodie? Beauty, Chantal. Thank you. Spirit says the matriarch in reverse, nurture the harvest is in reverse. 3 is significant. 3 is a crowd. Is there an affair? Sending her love and light. You feel stagnant, stuck, and stale. The energy blockages you are experiencing are a result of being overly dependent on the voices and actions of others.
You know what? That last metamorphosis card, before you pulled it away, I know it's in reverse. Neo, do you know what those rings next to the matriarch look like? They look like wedding rings. I mean, looking at them like, let me go back for a second. Is it okay if I go back? Okay. I know that it looks from the right side up, it's supposed to be a fountain, but I keep getting struck with how that looks like a pair of wedding rings to me, girl. It does. From like the front, it looks like a pair of wedding rings. It does.
Being overly dependent on the voices and actions of others. What you say? Foodie Beauty, current energy. Currently, Spirit is acknowledging that she on the surface is acting or just giving this energy of an empress, being very open, loving, caring, nurturing, etc. Spirit says subconsciously she's all talk and no action, hasteful, with undelivered promises. With the Page of Swords in the middle of the deck, Spirit says it's time for you to go inward. It's time for you to have a spiritual enlightenment journey. It's time for you to isolate yourself so that you can hear your inner voice, your inner guide. Will she do it? That's her business. Spirit said, maybe not. With the 7 of Cups, she's too distracted by the diversionary tactics, illusion, and temptation. Okay. Oh, more. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit says that she feels like she is up for a fight. There's a lot of competition, and she's got to fight in the area of passion, also in the area of chaos, passionate but yet chaotic fire sign. She also feels like she's going after this money, so she has to persevere for this. She's focusing on wealth with the Page of Pentacles, and then with the 9 of Swords, she's very opinionated around this. She's very hasty, action oriented, and very communicative about this. Okay. What is Foodie Beauty's biggest obstacle? Current energy. Thank you. Setbacks to new ideas, pessimism, and a lack of direction is an obstacle with the Page of Wands. With the 4 of Swords, restlessness, burnout, and a lack of progress are obstacles. With the Ace of Wands in reverse, delays, a lack of motivation, being weighed down, feeling weighed down is an obstacle, and not dealing with her past, not healing her past, not healing her childhood trauma, drama, wounds. Okay, so she's stuck in the past is an obstacle, naive and unrealistic. What's next? So Spirit said there's another obstacle in the middle of the deck. Thank you. There goes that card. Isolation, lonely, and withdrawal with the Hermit card in reverse. What's next for Foodie?
So, like, I know that Chantal watches these readings, Neo. I know she does. Because, she took my tarot intro music. Foodie, don't do that. Anyway, I know she watches these readings. So I would like to insert this in for Chantal. Chantal, lean in and pay attention. There are many different tarot readers who've done readings on you, on YouTube. Myself, Neo, a few others. We all keep seeing the same things, even though we don't know each other and we've never talked to one another. Do you get what's going on here with this reading? You are in your own way. You are. You're in your own way. You're shooting yourself in the foot by hanging on to things that really you shouldn't be hanging on to. And you're not grabbing on the things you should be grabbing onto, all because you're stubborn. You can't get past your pride and your vanity and wanting to be right. It's okay to be wrong and admit that you're wrong. I know you like to say, well, nobody's perfect. And you're right. Nobody is perfect, but nobody's asking you to be perfect. But being wrong is part of being human. And it's okay to be wrong and make a mistake as long as you realize your mistake and you just learn and become better for the next time so you don't repeat the mistake. And your problem, where you get in your own way, is that you can't admit when you're wrong. And therefore, you don't learn the lesson. And therefore, you keep making the same mistakes, which lead to the same place. You're hanging on to this thing in Kuwait. It makes no sense on any level. And you get these ideas in your head, but you don't have the energy to follow through on anything. And you can't heal yourself if you don't know how. And you're not going to get the healing and the help unless you reach out to other people and you surrender. Surrender to spirit. Surrender to the idea of like, I'm in over my head. I don't know what I'm doing. We all have moments like that. We get in over our head. And that's when we reach out to other people and reach out to spirit and say, can you please assist me, guide me, help me? It's okay to reach out. It's okay to not have all the answers. If you don't change the cycle, you're doomed to repeat the cycle. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So you've been doing this thing in Kuwait for 2 years, exactly the same. Nothing has changed. It's time to let it go now. It's overdue.
Beauty, current energy. Manifesting, she sees that there's a new opportunity, there's a new possibility, and so she wants to follow that path that way. She feels like the universe is going to give her something and gift her something, okay? An opportunity of prosperity. However, with the Queen of Swords in reverse, she's too overly emotional to follow the yellow brick road for a lack of confidence. For a lack of confidence and okay, or a lack of confidence. Wow, okay. She's malicious and she's cold-hearted. Excuse me. And there will be justice. Is she going in front of a court of law? There's some type of law. There's some type of order. There's some type of air sign. There's some type of balance that has to be given. Libra energy, as well as on this justice, fairness, truth, cause and effect law.
Ooh, that could pertain to somebody that she once knew, his court case. Maybe that's the entire reason that she's been in Kuwait for over 2 years, just waiting for that to blow over so that she's not involved. I don't know. Just an idea.
Uh-oh. Yeah, she's avoiding this situation. Mm-hmm. She's putting it off. Change has come up twice now.
That puts a different spin on things. So she's been painting this picture to all of us in girl world that she went over there for Salah. Oh, I'm in love with my handsomest man, blah, blah, blah. But what if, girl world, what if it wasn't about Salah at all? What if the real reason is because of what's going on with Natter and not wanting to go to jail? Like her having to go to court and testify and that potentially getting her in trouble. Maybe that's it. What if She's been waiting for this thing to be done and over with. And once it is, she'll come back to Canada. Like she's just scared and maybe thinking that she'll get caught up in it. So she's been like hiding out in Kuwait all this time because of that. It's an interesting thought.
You're not willing to participate in your own growth. And that is your business. This reading is alleged and for entertainment purposes. Now we sit back and let the universe do what the universe does.
Wonderful reading, Neo. Thank you so much for posting this. Always a good time reacting to you. I always look forward to you doing the readings on Foodie because you're bang on the money. So for those of you that are part of my channel and you really enjoyed that reading as much as I did, y'all look down below. There it is. See that link? It leads to her channel and you can check out all of her videos, all of her content. Sub up to her if you haven't already. Just tell her how much you enjoy her doing these readings because like she can reach Chantal like the phone book. I love it. So that's it for this react. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And I'm going to go carry on with the rest of my morning. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.